Whatever you say, boss man.
Okay. All right. What's up, everybody? My name is Skylar Woods. This is CO Local, and with me today, I have SemiFiction. Now you've been at it for a year. You've got the record that's been out. You guys have been writing new music. You're sort of evolving as a band anyways, right? Mm-hmm. So how does that now sort of influence you and your relationship to the music?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that'd be a good question for you to answer too, B.
Oh,
I mean,
boy,
yeah. I don't mean to throw you on the spot, but
I think that it's funny. There's other projects I've been in. I think it's common for a bass player to. It's always hard to find a bass player, so a lot of times I've been replacements for people,
Right.
and it's a weird position to be in because sometimes I feel like I'm an intruder and I don't necessarily belong,
Sure.
and it's like I don't want to corrupt the music with me too much. It's weird feeling. So
I guess I could see where you're coming from, right? Because it's
Yeah.
like there's already been something that's created, and the last thing you want to do is be that over-imposing person who comes in and
Exactly.
says, actually, this is my song now.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I get
So it's very much like knowing your place. And
Yeah.
I think also the way that I did a lot of my training and studying as a bassist is very much like you're the foundation. You kind of got to lay back. And
Mhm.
so with this project, it's been awesome. I feel like right from the bat, you guys were really, really welcoming and made it a comfortable space so that I could
That's cool.
be more creative and feel like a part of it. And yeah, just very welcoming. It's super fun. And I think that we have a great friendship now and it's
Yeah.
really cool.
That is cool.
and I
Yeah.
feel like Danny also puts a lot of his heart into it. He's the most passionate member, obviously, because
Yeah. Singer.
it's his main project. Obviously, you know, we're kind of we feel like the tools to kind of help make that a reality.
Sometimes you need that, though.
Yeah.
Actually, a band I interviewed a few months ago now, My Life as a Bear, their singer said
Love
the same
those dudes.
sentiment, right? He was like, he's like, they're my secret weapons,
Yeah.
right? Like, he's like, I come up with these songs that are okay. He's like, and then I bring them to them and they make them amazing. you know?
That's exactly it.
Yeah, I could
Mhm.
totally see that, right?
I mean, so music's always been my passion, you know what I mean? And I'd played guitar in like other bands, and don't get me wrong, I really liked that. But this is the first time that it's been like, oh, I wrote these songs, or like I have free reign, if you will.
Right.
And then like I just bring these things to them and they help me flesh them out into like closer to what my vision is as
Yeah.
opposed to just this kind of skeleton.
I get that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really cool. I think we all not only get along really well, but like the musical chemistry
Mhm.
between us all is really strong. Like I've jammed with other drummers and I've never felt as solid as jamming with
Yeah.
Braden, you know what I mean?
Well, that's
and
cool.
B has fit in perfectly.
What about in terms of like, say, the songs that you're writing now? I know we talked a little bit earlier in the one-on-one interview
Mhm.
about how these songs are feeling a little bit different because you're structuring them around more of like a bigger story.
Yeah.
Is that something that you kind of came to through listening to your other record and just thinking about how you want it to evolve and grow in this next one?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So like the first one, like I said, it was very much just like I'd walk my dog late at night and then just like think about, well, how does this make me feel? And
Yeah.
then try and play off that. And what's funny is the reason I named the band SemiFiction was a lot of them are fictional stories that I've like
Interesting.
imbued parts of my personal life into. But this next album or EP that we're working on, it was very much, I wanted the audience to relate to it.
Yeah.
And the only way to do that was to draw from more personal experience. Which is
Get a
why-
little more vulnerable.
That's
You
exactly
gotta
it.
open the fuck up.
Right. So I don't know if it's as semi-fiction, you know what I mean? But
I guess I see. But you know what? I like that. That's an interesting way, that you came about the name.
Yeah.
I had a question later on, sort of like if there's more story to that, but you went ahead and answered it, so that's nice.
We went through so many ideas of band names. Like it was really me and Braden just texting back and forth. What do you think about this? What do you think about this?
Yep.
And we couldn't decide on anything. We wanted to do Manuscript Replica, which is a
Oh.
at the drive-in
Yeah.
lyric. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just, it's even hard for me to say now, you know what I mean? It's kind of a mouthful. Like
Oh yeah.
I really
totally.
like doodling in notebooks and doing like little designs and
It's
stuff.
got to have a some form of like catchy simplicity to it, as far as
Yeah.
like what you can image around,
Yeah.
and then even just like rolling off the tongue. Like you're saying.
Exactly.
I think SemiFiction's great. It's one word, 2 syllables, fucking A.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
People will remember it too. And actually, they have stats that show that bands with the letter S in the first name actually get 40% more plays.
Wait, really?
I'm just kidding.
I was
I
going to
made
say,
that
I
up.
didn't know that at all.
Made up statistics, but we'll believe it.
Yep.
You got it here first.
I've heard 3 syllables is the magic number.
No, I
Isn't it
just am
4?
joking.
I have no idea.
So, okay, very cool, very cool. Now, with the first album now turning 1, we're talking about your plans moving forward. we have the live stream tonight. You guys have had a couple of live streams, prior to this. Are you guys in the works of planning shows? Is that something you're even able to do now? I, being someone in the studio, I don't do a lot of booking for shows right now. And so I'm not even sure what the landscape of that looks like. I wanted to kind of hear if that's something you guys are starting to try to reach out to people and do, and how that's really working for the bands in a legitimate sense.
So I think for us, primarily, the Colorado music scene is very tight-knit. You know what I mean? We all know each other, Denver, Colorado Springs, Fort Collins. I mean, everyone that kind of knows these shows. I mean, we used to do the DIY shows. Everyone loved it, right?
Right.
But
I want them more.
I know, right? I think for the respect of the situation, though, it's just waiting until there's a proper time. I think we're just kind of honestly waiting for all the bands to be like, you know what? We're not going to judge you for playing a show during a pandemic. You know
That's
what I mean?
That's a good point, yeah.
And we want to just make sure that we're not going to be the first ones to go out there and be like, okay, well, now we're going to get judged and no one wants to ever play with us because we broke the rules. You know what I mean? So we're kind of just waiting.
I think that's interesting you mentioned that, because that was a side of it I hadn't even considered, but it's very valid, right? You don't want to be the ones out there necessarily trailblazing the bad behavior, if you will. And there is, even though things are getting better and we're at threat level purple or something now, it's getting better. And I know that a lot of the venues and stuff are trying to open for more half capacity bar nights and stuff like that, which I love, because they need to be able to stay alive long enough to get back to that time when we can really do shows. But that's a great point, man. I wonder if that's the way a lot of the other bands are feeling as well. Have you spoken to any other fellow musicians, and that's a common sentiment you've heard?
I have. I'm in a couple bands here in Colorado Springs, and we kind of just talk about it too, because they're other musicians that have also they've been in the scene for a very long time, and I always talk to them. I kind of consult them and say, when do you think's the right time that we should start playing? They're like, honestly, dude, let's not worry about it until the world kind of just levels out a little bit.
Just keep calm and carry on?
Yeah. Exactly. But we'll keep practicing and writing. That's the most important thing, is to at least keep it going.
So then on that, are you guys planning, you'd mentioned to me earlier, but you guys are planning a new record, and how soon are you guys looking to get started on that?
Really as soon as possible. I mean, so we have these demos that we've done, and then it was kind of on me to get them mixed and get, some vocal tracks and stuff. But the last one, I mean, like I had told you before, it was called For Your Health because I felt like I just needed to get it out for my health, or I was never going to put this out. So this one, I've allowed myself to take my time a little bit more. I don't want to drag ass on it and never put it out, but
maybe come in just with a different sense of preparation.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Like the last one, I mean, we're in studio and I'm kind of still almost fleshing some things out. You know what I
vocally?
mean?
Stuff you sing or lyrics you say?
Some stuff that I was singing. Christian was like, I think this would, work better if you did it this way.
Christian's a great person to have in your corner while you're doing that.
That's exactly. Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, as far as songwriters go, Christian's going to be in the best in the town. Right?
Yeah,
He's the best in town.
He helped us out a lot on that one. But yeah, this, and that album felt more like a bunch of singles that just got conglomerated into an album.
Yeah.
And so this one, I wanted it to flow a little bit better and there to be transitions between songs and stuff that I had never even thought about before.
Now, Braden had kind of spilled the beans on it. Are you allowed to say what the theme to the record is? Do you care if we talk about that?
No, I don't care at all.
He had mentioned it's sort of seasonal, right?
Yeah. So all the imagery is from the seasons. So we have one centered around fall and winter and so on and so forth. But the overall arching theme is kind of like goodbyes, if you will, but different phases in it. So it's not told from one perspective. There's multiple perspectives, but it's kind of a continuation of this feeling of someone leaving from different perspectives of that.
Interesting. Now, are you looking for those perspectives all from a center internal point of view, or are you looking to sort of embody perspectives of other people to accomplish that?
For the most part, they've been my own. Yeah. So whether it's I don't know if Bandy's listening to this, but one of them's feeling kind of butthurt that Bandy's not hanging out, you know what I mean?
It's a real feeling.
Yeah, no, and I mean just not necessarily all about that, but drawing from those emotions and then portraying them into this other thing.
And you're human, right? So it's even having that feeling, it doesn't say anything about your relationship with Bandy.
No,
right?
no.
It's just your person, right? And if it's something you care about, sometimes those things sting a bit.
Right.
Right. Can't change that. We're all
taking that emotion and trying to, again, something that people can relate to. Like everyone's had someone leave, or
kind of
like,
just like transpose it into something that another person would find very relatable.
Yeah, that's exactly
and
it.
he brings that to practice too. It's funny. Like he'll send. We have a group, obviously a band group text.
Goddamn right.
And he'll be like, "Hey, check out this vocal take I just did on this," or like read these lyrics, and and then B will kind of dissect it a little bit, because B's got a little more theory under her belt than I ever will. So
nice.
B knows note names.
I'll just tell him if the lyric. I'm like, nah, dude. Like that's too cliche.
Which I appreciate.
It doesn't seem personal.
There has been things where I bring it to them, and Braden's like, I think you should find something else.
Right. Actually, B had mentioned that in her one-on-one interview, that your guys' like collaborative nature for all of the songwriting is very open, and just, I don't know a better way to say it other than like open door policy, right? Where you guys aren't there to like out to get anybody, but you're comfortable saying your opinions, and that everybody is on the same page as that. You're only bringing things up if it's to make the best version of the song possible.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, guys. Well, that's the end of this episode. Do check out our Facebook, This is CO Local, Instagram, This is CO Local, as well as the CO Local artist page on Spotify, where you can hear all of the compilation records and anything new we put out coming forward. All right, guys. Peace.